Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Comfortably. I'm Victoria, your host today. If you're new here, we share a new English learning video every day. Our goal is to help you speak English more easily and with more confidence. In today's lesson, we're going to learn phrases that will really help you speak better English every day. We'll look at common English phrases that native speakers use naturally. These aren't just phrases from a textbook. They're real, everyday sayings. They'll help you sound natural and confident. You'll improve your listening skills by hearing these phrases. You'll also get lots of chances to practice speaking them yourself. By the end, you'll feel more comfortable using these phrases in everyday talks, at work, with friends, or in new situations. I'll explain each phrase clearly, give examples, and show you when and how to use them well. Before we jump in, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon. This way, you won't miss any lessons that help you improve your English. Now, grab a pen and a notebook, and let's get ready to make your English even better. Key phrases for fluent English. Let's start with a phrase that native speakers use all the time. I'm not quite sure, but... This phrase is great when you want to share an idea, but you're not completely certain. It sounds friendly and polite. For example, instead of saying, I don't know, you could say, I'm not quite sure, but I think the meeting starts at 10. This small change makes you sound more fluent and in control. Here's how to practice. Imagine a friend asks for directions to a new coffee shop. You're not totally sure, but you want to help. You say, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's near the train station, right across from the bookstore. Now, try saying that slowly with me. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's near the train station. These kinds of phrases make your speaking feel more connected. Another common phrase that makes your English sound advanced is, it slipped my mind. This is a natural way to say you forgot something. For example, if you forgot to call a friend back, you can say, I'm so sorry, it totally slipped my mind. This sounds much better than just saying, I forgot. It adds a personal touch and shows you speak English well. Try using this phrase in your daily talks. Think about a time you forgot to do something small, like bringing a book or sending a message. Practice saying, I was going to do it yesterday, but it completely slipped my mind. These phrases make your speech sound more real and lively. Next, let's talk about a useful phrase when you agree with someone but also want to add something. That's true, but... This is a kind and polite way to share a slightly different idea. For example, your colleague says, working from home is more comfortable. You can reply, that's true, but sometimes I miss talking to people face to face. This keeps the talk smooth and makes you sound thoughtful. Try saying that with me. That's true, but sometimes I miss talking to people face to face. Practicing this helps you feel comfortable in everyday talks without sounding rude. Now, here's a phrase that is very common in work or polite situations. Would you mind if I? It's a polite way to ask for permission. Instead of saying, can I open the window? You could say, would you mind if I open the window? It's more respectful and shows good manners. Practice it with me. Imagine you're in a meeting room and it feels a bit warm. You look at your colleague and say, would you mind if I open the window? Or if you're talking to your friend at home, you can say, would you mind if I used your phone charger for a minute? These kinds of phrases show that you're not only fluent, but also thoughtful and polite. Another phrase that can help you sound more fluent is, let's play it by ear. You use this when you're not sure about your plans and want to decide later. For example, if a friend asks what time you're going to the park and you're not sure yet, you can say, let's play it by ear. This means you'll decide later based on how things are going. Let's practice this in a sentence. Imagine you're making plans for the weekend. Your friend says, shall we go out at 5 or 6? You say, let's play it by ear. I might be a bit tired after work. That's a phrase that sounds truly natural and relaxed. Practice makes perfect. Now, let's use these phrases together in a short practice paragraph. Listen carefully and try to repeat it afterward. Yesterday, I was supposed to meet my friend for lunch, but it totally slipped my mind. I felt so bad. I called her and said, I'm not quite sure how I forgot. It just slipped my mind. She understood and said, no worries, these things happen. Then I said, would you mind if we met tomorrow instead? She agreed and said, "Sure, let's play it by ear, depending on the weather." That short story includes 4 of the phrases we just learned, all used in a natural, fluent way. Try to repeat the story in your own words to practice your speaking skills. Let's move on to another phrase that's really useful when you want to give advice in a friendly way. If I were you, I'd... This is a kind and gentle way to offer a suggestion. Instead of saying you should, which might sound a bit strong, you say, if I were you, I'd take a break. It sounds softer and shows you care. Let's practice together. Imagine your friend is stressed about work. You say, if I were you, I'd take a day off to relax. It's a great way to show you care while still giving advice. Try using it when helping others, or even when you're thinking through a decision for yourself. Another advanced phrase you hear often is to be honest. This phrase helps you share your real opinion without sounding rude. For example, if someone asks you about a movie and you didn't really enjoy it, you can say, to be honest, I found it a bit slow. It shows you're speaking your mind truthfully but politely. Let's try another one. Imagine your friend cooked something and asks you if you liked it. You can say, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of spicy food, but I appreciate the effort. This phrase is very useful in many conversations, especially when you want to be honest and kind at the same time. Next up is a phrase that helps when you need more time to think. A phrase often used in workplaces, meetings, or even casual chats is, let me get back to you on that. For example, if someone asks for information you don't have right away, you can say, let me get back to you on that. It shows you're responsible and plan to find the answer. Try using this phrase when someone asks you something you need to check first, like an event date or a task deadline. You can say, I'm not quite sure about the exact time. Let me get back to you on that. Let's use some of these phrases in another practice story. Listen carefully and try to imagine the situation. You're at work and your manager asks if you can take on a new project. You're not sure, so you say, to be honest, I've got a lot on my plate right now. Let me get back to you on that. Later, you talk to a coworker and say, if I were you, I'd talk to the manager about the workload. Your coworker agrees and says, that's true, but we also have to meet the deadline. That short conversation shows real, fluent English with natural phrases. Practice saying it aloud, or even better, try writing your own short dialogue using these phrases. Another great phrase you can use daily to show understanding or support is, I know how you feel. This phrase is simple, but it can make conversations feel more personal and human. For example, if a friend says they're tired from working late nights, you can respond, I know how you feel. I've been staying up late all week too. It shows you understand and care. Try practicing with me. Picture someone saying, I'm really stressed about my exams. You say, I know how you feel. I used to get super anxious before my tests too. These short responses help build connection and comfort in daily talks. Let's now learn a helpful phrase for when you need someone to wait. Bear with me for a moment. This sounds polite, calm, and professional. It's better than just saying, wait a second, which can sometimes sound too direct. Imagine you're on a phone call and you need to find a file. You can say, could you bear with me for a moment while I check my notes? It's perfect for both formal and informal settings. Try it in another example. Imagine you're cooking and your friend asks you a question. You say, bear with me for a moment. I just need to finish chopping these vegetables. With practice, phrases like this become natural in your daily speaking. A very common phrase when something isn't exactly right is, it's not quite what I expected. This helps you express disappointment or surprise in a polite way. For example, if you buy a new gadget and it doesn't work as you thought, you might say, it's not quite what I expected, but I'll give it some time. Let's practice another situation. Imagine you try a new dish at a restaurant and the taste is different. You can say, it's not quite what I expected, but it's interesting. This way, you stay polite while still sharing your honest thoughts. Now, let's go over a really useful conversation phrase. That reminds me. This is a great way to naturally change topics while sounding fluent. For example, if someone says something that makes you think of another story or memory, you can say, that reminds me of the time I went to the beach and forgot my sunscreen. It flows naturally and makes your storytelling smoother. Let's try it together. A friend says, I love swimming. And you say, that reminds me of my childhood summers at the lake. It's a fun and easy way to add stories and details to your conversations. Another smooth phrase to practice is, as far as I know. This phrase helps you give information that you believe is true, but you're not 100% certain. It's useful in many situations. For example, as far as I know, the shop closes at 8 p.m., or as far as I know, she's still working on that project. It's a great way to speak confidently without sounding like you're guessing. Try using it now. Think about something you heard recently and say, as far as I know, they're moving to a new house next month. You can use this in daily chats, work conversations, and even texts. Story practice with multiple phrases. Now, let's take all these phrases and put them into a short story for practice. Listen to this carefully. Your friend says, I'm so nervous about my job interview tomorrow. You reply, I know how you feel. I remember being super nervous before mine. Then you say, bear with me for a moment. I think I still have some notes that might help you prepare. As you search for the notes, you continue, that reminds me of when I went in without any preparation. It didn't go well. Then you say, as far as I know, the company likes people who ask a lot of questions, so be curious. This story sounds natural and full of fluent expressions. Repeat it aloud, or write your own version using the same phrases. Let's tie this together in a daily conversation practice. You meet a friend at a cafe and say, I've got a lot on my plate lately. Work is nonstop. Your friend says, yeah, I get it. You respond, I went to this quiet spot in the park yesterday just to clear my head. You know what I mean? Then you add, relaxing, there was a piece of cake compared to my usual routine. That short scene uses 3 natural phrases in a real-life context. Practicing like this will train your brain to use these phrases fluently without thinking too much. Ending conversations and disagreements. Now, let's learn another useful phrase. Let's catch up soon. This is what people say when they want to meet again or reconnect. For example, after a long conversation with a friend, you might say, it was great talking to you. Let's catch up soon. It's friendly and keeps the connection open. Try saying this after conversation ends. I've got to run now, but let's catch up soon. Maybe over lunch next week. You'll hear this phrase often in English-speaking countries. And here's another one to show politeness or calm during a disagreement. Let's agree to disagree. It's a peaceful way to end a debate when 2 people have different opinions. For example, you love spicy food. I can't handle it at all. Let's agree to disagree. This phrase is useful when you don't want to argue, but still want to keep the conversation respectful. Try it with someone you disagree with. You think summer is better, I prefer winter. Let's agree to disagree. It's a mature and fluent way to handle conversations. Let's now wrap this part up with another practice paragraph using today's expressions. Picture this, you're chatting with a colleague. They say, I think working from home is always better. You reply, let's agree to disagree. I actually like the office vibe more. Then you say, anyway, I've got a lot on my plate today. Let's catch up soon. This short exchange sounds smooth, respectful, and fluent. Try creating a similar dialogue in your notebook and say it out loud a few times. Thinking time and uncertainty. Let's now look at another fantastic expression used in both casual and professional conversations. Let me sleep on it. This means you need some time to think about something before making a decision. It's polite and shows that you take decisions seriously. Imagine someone offers you a new job opportunity and you're not sure if you want to accept it right away. You can say, thanks for the offer. Let me sleep on it and I'll get back to you tomorrow. Let's try another one. Your friend asks if you want to go on a weekend trip. You can say, sounds fun, but let me sleep on it before I confirm. It's a phrase that shows thoughtfulness and gives you space to think before replying. Another expression that adds a natural touch to your English is, I'm not sure off the top of my head. This means you don't know the answer right now, but you might know it if you had a moment to think. It's more natural than just saying, I don't know. Remembering and hoping. For example, if someone asks, do you remember John's phone number? You can say, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I can check my contacts. Or if someone asks, what's the capital of Switzerland? and you forget, you say, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I think it's burn. Using phrases like this makes your English sound more relaxed and natural. Now, here's a very common phrase. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. This means you're hoping for a good result. You'll often hear it when someone is waiting for news or a result. For example, I applied for a scholarship and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Or, she has a big exam tomorrow, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for her. This phrase adds warmth and emotion to your speech.
Try using it now.
Think about something you're waiting for and say, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything goes well. Repeat it a few times, and you'll start to use it naturally. Here's another phrase you'll find useful when someone is interrupting or rushing you. Hold your horses. This means wait a moment or slow down. It's a bit playful and friendly, so it works well with friends or family. For example, if your little brother keeps asking you to play while you're still cooking, you might say, hold your horses. I'll be done in 5 minutes. Or when someone's being impatient, hold your horses. We haven't even left the house yet. Practice with a pretend conversation. Are we leaving now? Are we? Are we? Hold your horses. I need to grab my phone first. It adds humor and lightness to everyday speech. Practice with a dialogue. Let's take a moment to practice a dialogue using these new phrases. Imagine you're talking to your coworker. Coworker, have you decided about the new project? You, not yet. Let me sleep on it and I'll let you know tomorrow. Coworker, do you know if the budget is approved? You, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'll check with finance. Before leaving, you both say, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the project approval. And as your boss rushes you for a report, you say quietly to your friend, hold your horses, I'm working on it. This scene sounds natural and real. Use similar ones to practice regularly. Giving opinions and being honest. Let's add another expression that's useful when you're giving your opinion gently. If you ask me, this phrase makes your opinion sound polite and less forceful. For example, if you ask me, that movie was a bit too long, or if you ask me, we should start the meeting earlier. It's softer than saying I think or we must. Try using it in a daily context. You're talking about food delivery and you say, if you ask me, the new place has better service. Use this phrase when giving suggestions or feedback to keep your tone respectful. Another good phrase for sharing your thoughts is to be honest. This makes your speech sound sincere. It's helpful when you want to say something important or different from what others might expect. For example, to be honest, I didn't enjoy the concert as much as I thought I would. Or, to be honest, I'd rather stay home than go out tonight. Just make sure to use it kindly, so it doesn't sound too harsh. Here's one to try. To be honest, I think we should reschedule the trip because of the weather. This phrase brings clarity and openness into your conversations. Mini story practice. Now, let's put both these expressions into a mini story. You're chatting with a friend about a recent movie. If you ask me, the acting was great, but the plot was weak. Your friend nods and you add, to be honest, I nearly fell asleep halfway through. This example shows how these phrases make your opinion sound natural and friendly. Use these structures when reviewing things or giving feedback in daily life. Ending conversations and offering kindness. Let's now learn a phrase that helps end a conversation politely. I won't keep you. You can use it when you're saying goodbye or ending a call. For example, I know you're busy, so I won't keep you. Talk to you later. It's a smooth way to respect someone's time. Another example. You probably have things to do, so I won't keep you. Take care. Try saying this after a long chat. Great catching up with you. I won't keep you. Enjoy the rest of your day. This keeps the tone professional, yet kind. And here's a very casual phrase people use when they want to be honest but still friendly. Just saying. This comes at the end of a statement and softens criticism or humor. For example, that shirt looks a bit old, just saying. Or, maybe you should double-check your presentation, just saying. It can be funny or a little cheeky, so use it with people you know well. Let's try one. You say, you always forget your umbrella on rainy days, just saying. It adds a playful touch to comments. More conversation practice. Let's now practice with a situation. Imagine your friend is telling you a long story, and you realize it's time for them to go. This has been great, but I won't keep you. Then you add, you really should try that new burger place, it's amazing, just saying. It's casual and friendly. Write your own short conversation with these two phrases and read it out loud to make it feel real. Another useful expression that shows care or understanding is take your time. This is a polite way to let someone know they don't need to rush. You can use it when someone is looking for something or feels pressured. For example, take your time, there's no rush, or take your time with the decision, it's important. Imagine someone is nervous during a presentation and you say, take your time, you're doing fine. This phrase adds calm and shows support, perspective, and positive updates. Finally, in this section, let's go over it's not the end of the world. This is a great phrase to comfort someone after a small mistake or disappointment. It means that the problem is not as bad as it seems. For example, you missed the bus? Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Or, you forgot your password again? It's not the end of the world, just reset it. It helps keep things in perspective and adds kindness to your tone. Practice it now. I spilled coffee on my shirt, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Repeat it until it feels easy to say. Let's bring these together in another conversation practice. Your friend says, I forgot to book the tickets. You reply, take your time, we can check other options. It's not the end of the world. Then, as they start to apologize a lot, you add with a smile, relax, just saying. These phrases show calm, control, and fluency. Try to write your own version and speak it aloud. The more you practice in context, the faster you'll gain natural fluency. Strong agreement and easy tasks. Let's explore a very commonly used phrase that helps you agree with someone while also adding your own thoughts. You can say that again. This phrase is used when you strongly agree with someone. For example, if someone says, this weather is just perfect, you can reply, you can say that again. It means you feel exactly the same way. Another example could be, she's such a talented singer. You respond with, you can say that again. It adds emphasis to your agreement and keeps the conversation lively. Try to think of a few sentences you strongly agree with and respond by saying, you can say that again. Now, let's learn a useful phrase for giving updates or talking about progress. So far, so good. You use this when things are going well up to the present moment. For example, if someone asks you, how's the new job? And things are fine, you can say, so far, so good. Or when someone asks, how's your project going? You reply, so far, so good. I finished most of the work. It's a short, simple way to show that everything is going well. Practice using it in different contexts. How's your weekend? So far, so good. How's your recovery from the flu? So far, so good. The phrase is practical and positive. Now, let's learn a smart way to say that something is very easy. It's a piece of cake. This idiom is often used to describe tasks that are simple or effortless. For example, if someone asks, was the test hard? You can say, no, it was a piece of cake. Or, how was your driving test? It was a piece of cake. Use it when you want to show confidence or encourage someone. You can say, don't worry about the interview, it'll be a piece of cake. Try it yourself now. Think of something you're good at and say, for me, it's a piece of cake. Let's practice a short conversation with all these phrases. Imagine a talk between two friends. Friend 1. This weather is so nice today. Friend 2. You can say that again. Friend 1. How's your new gym routine going? Friend 2. So far, so good. It's actually a piece of cake compared to what I expected. These kinds of conversations will help you use phrases in real life. Make up your own example and try speaking it out loud to become more fluent. Polite disagreement and surprises. Here's another useful expression for polite disagreement or pointing out a mistake without sounding rude. I see your point, but... This phrase helps you disagree in a respectful way. For example, I see your point, but I think we should wait before making a decision. Or, I see your point, but there's another side to consider. It allows you to show understanding while expressing your own opinion. Practice it now. Think of a topic and create two different views. Respond with, I see your point, but, and finish your sentence. Next, we'll look at a fun way to say something surprising or unexpected happened, out of the blue. This means something happened suddenly or without warning. For example, he called me out of the blue after 3 years, or she showed up out of the blue and surprised everyone. It adds excitement and color to your storytelling. Try to remember a moment that happened unexpectedly in your life. Now describe it using out of the blue. For example, I got a job offer out of the blue. This helps make your stories more engaging. Combining phrases in conversation. Let's put these two phrases together in a conversation. Imagine two coworkers talking. Coworker 1. The client changed their mind out of the blue. Coworker 2. I see your point, but maybe it's for the better. This kind of interaction sounds fluent and polished. Use this structure to build confidence in your conversations. Practice short back and forths using these phrases with a friend or by recording yourself. Expressing dislikes and what matters most. Let's go over another important expression. It's not my cup of tea. This phrase means something is not to your taste or not something you enjoy. For example, I know horror movies are popular, but they're not my cup of tea. Or, dancing in clubs is not my cup of tea. I prefer quiet cafes. It's a polite way to say you don't like something without sounding too negative. Try using it now. Think about an activity or food you don't like. Say, it's not my cup of tea. It sounds much more natural than saying, I don't like it. Another great expression for showing something is very important or central to you is, it means the world to me. You use this when something or someone is extremely valuable to you. For example, your support means the world to me, or spending time with my family means the world to me. It adds emotion and depth to your words. Think of something that matters deeply to you. Now express it using this phrase. Helping others learn English means the world to me. Say it a few times to feel its emotional impact. Scenario practice. Let's now put both of these phrases in one scenario. Imagine you're speaking with a friend who suggests going to a loud concert and you say, honestly, loud concerts are not my cup of tea. Then your friend says, okay, no problem. Let's do something else. You smile and reply, thanks for understanding. It means the world to me. This type of gentle conversation builds trust and fluency. Practice similar exchanges to get better at soft disagreement and emotional expression, explaining complexities, and embracing delays. Let's add another practical phrase. It's a long story. This is useful when you don't want to explain something in detail or when something complicated happened. For example, if someone asks, why did you quit your job, and you're not ready to share, you can say, it's a long story. Or if someone asks, why aren't you speaking to Alex anymore? You say, it's a long story. It saves you from having to go into details. Use this phrase when the situation is complicated or private. It helps manage the flow of conversation. Let's also explore a positive phrase. Better late than never. This is a way to say it's good to do something even if it's delayed. For example, he finally apologized, better late than never, or I started exercising at 40, better late than never. It's encouraging and supportive, especially for people starting new habits or making improvements. Think of a moment when you did something late, but still felt good about it. Now say, better late than never. Try using it in conversations with friends who are worried about being too late to try something. Putting it together. Late arrivals. Here's a situation to practice with both of these phrases. You see someone arriving late to a party and they say, sorry, I'm late. You smile and say, it's okay, better late than never. Then they ask why you came alone and you say, it's a long story. This makes the conversation friendly and smooth without awkwardness. Keep practicing these kinds of real-life situations to develop natural fluency, strong agreement, permission, and getting back on track. Let's continue with another useful expression that's great for showing strong appreciation or agreement in a polite and humble way. I couldn't agree more. This is a stronger way of saying I agree with you. You use it when you absolutely agree with what someone just said. For example, if a friend says, Learning English has really changed my life. You can say, I couldn't agree more. Or if someone says, being kind to others always pays off, you can respond, I couldn't agree more. It's simple but very effective. Practice now. Think of a statement you strongly agree with and say, I couldn't agree more. Another phrase that's often used in daily conversation is by all means. It means certainly or go ahead. You can use it when giving someone permission or encouraging them to do something. For example, if someone asks, can I borrow your pen? You can say, by all means. Or, do you mind if I ask you a question? By all means. It sounds polite, professional, and confident. Try using it in different situations. Imagine someone asks, can I join you for lunch? You reply, by all means. It's great for making your English sound more polished. Now, let's explore a phrase that helps you change topics or return to a previous topic. Anyway, as I was saying, this phrase is perfect when someone interrupts you, or if the conversation has gone off track and you want to return to your original point. For example, anyway, as I was saying, we should plan our project before the meeting. Or anyway, as I was saying, it's really important to practice English every day. It's useful in conversations, meetings, and even storytelling. Try to imagine you are telling a story, someone interrupts you, and then you return to your point using anyway, as I was saying. Let's combine these 3 phrases in a practice conversation. Imagine 2 colleagues talking. Colleague 1. Speaking politely in English really makes a difference. Colleague 2. I couldn't agree more. Colleague 1. Can I use your notebook for a second? Colleague 2. By all means. After a brief distraction, the speaker says, anyway, as I was saying, learning phrases like these helps a lot. Listening and giving opinions. And finally, I'm all ears. This means you are listening carefully and giving someone your full attention. For example, if your friend says, I need to tell you something important, you can say, I'm all ears. It's a friendly way to show you care about what the other person is saying. Another example, I've got a great story to share, and you respond, I'm all ears. Use this phrase to build trust and positive communication. Think of a time someone was about to tell you something interesting and imagine saying, I'm all ears. Now, let's look at a phrase for sharing your opinion gently. If you ask me, this is a soft way of expressing your personal opinion. For example, if you ask me, daily practice is the best way to improve your English. Or if you ask me, she handled the situation very well. It adds a polite and natural tone to your speech. Practice now. Think about something you believe strongly and say, if you ask me, and complete your thought. It can help make your speech sound more thoughtful and mature. It's your turn. Another phrase you should add to your daily English is the ball is in your court. This means that it's someone else's turn to make a decision or take action. For example, I've given you all the details, now the ball is in your court, or I apologized, now the ball is in her court. This phrase is often used in professional and personal conversations. Try using it in a situation where you've done your part, and now someone else needs to act. Say, I've done my part, now the ball is in your court. It's an excellent way to express responsibility clearly. Let's do a practice conversation. Friend, I've been thinking about joining the English speaking club. If you ask me, you should go for it. It'll help a lot. Then you add, but now the ball is in your court. Later, your friend wants to share something, and you say, I'm all ears. This kind of dialogue flows smoothly and naturally, using advanced but common phrases. Practicing like this will help your real-life conversations feel easy and fluent, ending tasks and uncovering secrets. Next, let's learn the phrase, let's call it a day. You use this when you want to end a task or an activity because enough has been done. For example, after a long study session, you can say, I'm tired, let's call it a day. Or in a meeting, we've made good progress, let's call it a day. It's informal and very common. Try using it at the end of any task. Think of something you finished today and say, let's call it a day. This shows natural timing in conversation. Another phrase to show curiosity is, what's the catch? You use this when something seems too good to be true and you want to know the hidden problem. For example, they're offering free laptops? What's the catch? Or, you're telling me this course is completely free? What's the catch? It's useful in real-life situations where you want to question something politely. Practice it now. Think of a deal or offer that sounds amazing, then say, "What's the catch?" It adds realism and caution to your speech. Seeking clarity. One more expression for today is, "I'm not sure I follow." This means you don't completely understand what someone just said. For example, in a meeting, if someone explains something complicated, you can politely say, "I'm not sure I follow. Could you explain that again?" Or in a conversation, "I'm not sure I follow."
What do you mean by that?
It shows that you are paying attention and want to understand better. Practice it by pretending you heard something unclear and replying, "I'm not sure I follow." Final practice scene. Let's end with a practice scene. Imagine you're talking with someone offering you a free trial course. That sounds amazing. What's the catch? Then they explain some complicated rules. I'm not sure I follow. Can you repeat that? At the end, you say, "Okay, I've heard enough for today. Let's call it a day." Practicing real dialogue like this is how fluency becomes second nature. These were just some of the many advanced phrases that you can use every day to speak more fluently, sound more natural, and build confidence in English conversations. Learning these expressions is not just about memorizing words, it's about practicing them in context. That's why we used real-life examples, mini conversations, and practice exercises. The more you listen, speak, and think in English, the more automatic these phrases will become. Make sure to practice aloud, write your own examples, and use these phrases whenever you get the chance. So keep practicing and keep using these phrases in your daily life. Remember, fluency doesn't come overnight, but with daily effort and smart learning like this, you'll reach your goals faster. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson. We upload English learning videos every day to help you speak better, sound more natural, and feel more confident. Stay tuned for more lessons, and don't forget to practice what you've learned today. Until next time, happy learning and keep speaking English with confidence.